Glory be to God. Today we want to answer a question. Is sex food? A woman asked me some time ago if sex is food. And I know that apparently she must have been frustrated with her husband's incessant request for sex. The husband could have been demanding for sexual intimacy too often. And perhaps some other people are out there who may want to know if sex is food. My answer, very concise, is that yes, sex is food. Oh, no, sex is not food because you can't eat sex as you eat food. In other words, my answer is both yes and no. However, I think the question should have been rephrased as should husbands and wives engage in sexual intimacy as often as they eat food? Now, as a marriage counselor, I will give you 7 reasons why I will say yes, sexual intimacy should be engaged in regularly. And I will also give you 7 reasons why no, sexual intimacy should not be engaged in as often as you eat food. So, and at the conclusion of this message, I will offer my personal recommended dosage for sexual intimacy a husband and his wife should engage in. And then I will leave you and your spouse, to your convictions. Now, as an introduction, firstly, it will be instructive to note that recent empirical studies on marriage relationship issues, particularly the one published in the Journal of Marriage and Family, showed that irregular sexual intimacy always ends up in marital dissatisfaction, infidelity, separation, and divorce. In other words, sexual dissatisfaction is one of the major causes of overall marital displeasure. Individuals who are dissatisfied with their sexual relationship are more likely to engage in extramarital affairs, marital instability, separation, and divorce. Irregular or unsatisfactory sexual intimacy often results in higher rates of separation and divorce. It has been found out that over 20% of marriages are sexless. And by the way, a sexless marriage is defined as any marital relationship having sexual activities less than 10 times within a year. So if in your marriage, you are having sex less than 10 times within the space of a year, that kind of marital relationship is considered as sexless. Now, these sort of marriages have a higher likelihood of experiencing marital distress and divorce. In fact, recent studies also show that over 50% of men and women reported that sexual problems negatively affected their relationship, contributing to feelings of dissatisfaction and potential separation. I'm aware of couples, although they are still living together, but when they are sleeping, the husband faces the door, the wife faces the wall. There is emotional separation. Now, secondly, it is important to note that sexual intimacy involves both physical and neurological aspects. Sexual activity has an impact on the brain. There is need to highlight what goes on in the brain during sexual intimacy. Now, there are 3 chemicals, so to say, We are going to talk about briefly dopamine, endorphins, and oxytocin. They act together as neurological passageway. Each of the ones that I've mentioned, they contribute in their own unique way to having a good sexual intimacy. Dopamine, for instance, is a neurotransmitter associated with the brain's reward and pleasure centers. During sexual activity, dopamine levels rise,